Hey everybody, I thought I would make a video here today. I like to combine things I'm interested in videos, and this is definitely one of them. I have tried to cover many different aspects of ancient Egyptian life and tried to show you as many different sites as I could, but one thing I haven't really talked about enough is ancient Egyptian medicine and ancient natural remedies, and that's one thing I really believe in. I think the ancients were really in touch with natural remedies and things that the earth provided, and felt no need for, like today's society does, in synthetic manufactured drugs that are created for profit and just making people numb and stupid, and continue to claim the biggest pop stars of our day. That is legal and accepted, but natural remedies such as marijuana and things that affect the consciousness and the mind, natural plants using shamanic medicine, are deified and made illegal. That is just one reason I think today's society is a bit screwed up. But this is one thing that interests me, is natural remedies, and I have read a few different authors on this subject, and I just thought I would share what the ancient Egyptians' remedies were and some of their aspects of ancient medicine. And this is a very good website here. This is Crystal Links, and it goes over different papyrus that have been found, the Edwin Smith Papyrus, and I think the oldest one, the Ebers Papyrus here, and also one called the Cayun Gynecological Papyrus, and it goes over natural remedies, and it even has the hieroglyphs for what was in an ancient Egyptian medical kit that include knives, drill, saw, forceps, pincers, hooks, bags tied with strings, beaked vessels, vase with burning incense, Horus eyes, scales, pot with flowers of Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, pot on a pedestal, and shears and spoons, among other things. And once again, I will leave the link below, but it goes into surgery and dentistry and a whole bunch of other things, amulets that were used in ancient medical practices. And it goes into magic and religion, and I suppose you could call this practice shamanic in ancient Egypt. But let me just read a little bit about the Ebers Papyrus and what it includes, if I can get up to it here. It says, Ebers Papyrus, also known as the Papyrus Ebers, is an Egyptian medical papyrus dating to circa 1550 B.C., which I believe would have put it right in the middle of the 18th dynasty. A very famous dynasty. It says, among the oldest and most important medical papyri of ancient Egypt, it was purchased at Luxor, ancient Thebes, in the winter of 1873 by George Ebers. It is currently kept at the University Library at the University of Leipzig in Germany. The papyrus was written about 1500 BC, but it is believed to have been copied from earlier texts, perhaps dating as far back as 3400 BC. And I think that is entirely possible. I think there is one fragment of a text that estimates are 3300 BC on it, so that is entirely possible. And it says, along with the Cayun Gynecological Papyrus dated 1800 BC and the Edwin Smith Papyrus dated 1600 BC, the Hearst Papyrus circa 1600 BC, and the Brooks Papyrus dated 1300 BC, and the London Medical Papyrus 1300 BC, it says the Ebers Papyrus is among the oldest preserved medical documents. It also says the scroll contains some 700 magical formulas and remedies. The papyrus contains a treatise on the heart. It notes that the heart is the center of blood supply with vessels attached for every member of the body. The Egyptians seem to have known little about the kidneys and made the heart the meeting point of a number of vessels, which carried all the fluids of the body: blood, tears, urine, and semen. Mental disorders are detailed in a chapter of the papyrus called the Book of Hearts. Disorders such as depression and dementia are covered. And it goes over the remedies, but the remedies, I'm going to jump over to this website here, and this covers ancient Egyptian and Chinese natural remedies. And I'm just going to concentrate on the Egyptians here, but I'm going to leave the link below in case you want to check it out. And natural remedies, one thing I learned, that honey was a main staple of remedies, It says, honey, carvings in temples and on sarcophagi and obelisks prove that bees and honey had a vital significance in the daily life of ancient Egyptians. The Ebers Papyrus refers to the medicinal value of honey. Almost all Egyptian medicines contain honey, wine, and milk. Due to its antiseptic and antifungal properties, honey was used both internally and externally to soothe irritated skin and in the healing of wounds and infections. It says doctors of ancient Egypt put this property of honey to work, treating open wounds with honey to prevent infection. This treatment is described in the Edwin Smith Papyrus, and the method must have saved untold number of lives from deadly infections at pyramid work sites where scrapes, gashes, and cuts would have been common. And another thing that honey was used for was women used it in treatments for their reproductive organs and menstruational cramps, and it was also used as a treatment along with cannabis, mixed with cannabis for a treatment for gonorrhea. I thought I would mention that. It says acacia, the gum derived from the acacia tree, was used for gastrointestinal and urinary tract diseases. It is often mixed with boiling water to form a substance and provided a soothing coating to the digestive tract, especially in cases of gastritis and ulcers. And pain relief, it says coriander was used. And it says sexual disorder, something known as fenugreek, known today in Egypt as helba, was used. And I'm not very familiar with that at all. Maybe somebody can help me out there. It says it was used to ease childbirth and increase milk flow. It was used by Egyptian women to ease menstrual pain and problems. And additionally, it was used to treat male impotence. So I guess that was the Viagra of their day, or at least one of the things they used in that department. It says vitality, garlic. In ancient Egypt, the workers who had to build the Great Pyramids were fed their daily share of garlic to give them the vitality and strength to carry on and perform well. So garlic, I guess, was used as probably some ancient technology that we have not really put our finger on yet. It says hibiscus. In ancient Egypt, hibiscus is used to treat coughs by placing extracts from the plant in patients' bathwater or in water used for steam inhalations. And it says raw garlic was also routinely given as asthmatics to those suffering from bronchial pulmonary complaints. Cardiovascular problems, onion. And the onion was important to Egyptians. It says the ancient Egyptians worshipped it, believing its spherical shape and concentric rings symbolized eternal life. Onions were eaten to help combat heart disease, inhibit strokes, and lower cholesterol. Stomach disorders, caraway seeds, crushed up. Skin diseases, henna was used. Eye diseases, it says castor oil. Beans of this plant have been found in ancient Egyptian tombs dating back to 4000 B.C., according to the Ebers Papyrus. Egyptian doctors use castor oil to protect eyes from irritation and dryness. And maybe that would come in handy on the golf course for me. And going back to cannabis, I think cannabis was widely used by many different cultures coming from ancient history, and it was used for a variety of reasons. And this right here, Seshat, this might be the best depiction of cannabis coming from ancient Egypt. And people have theorized what this is, but I think the best explanation is it does depict cannabis. And the stem coming down here into the head, I think that is there for a symbolic reason, because that points directly to the pineal gland. And I think that should be mentioned. And here is a close-up of that. Seshat with probably cannabis plant extending from the pineal gland. And today we look at our present-day culture and how marijuana is being legalized in a lot of states, and we are saying, oh, look at us, we are being so progressive, check us out. But actually we are just rediscovering what the ancients always knew. And here is the hieroglyph for cannabis coming from ancient Egypt, known as Shem Shem 2, and sometimes referred to as divine smoke. And just reading some of the history on cannabis coming from ancient Egypt, it says hemp was used for rope and sails as well as fine linens in ancient Egypt. Hemp rope was found in the 18th dynasty of Akhenaten. It says in the 3rd century, Roman Emperor Aurelian imposed a tax on Egyptian cannabis. He knew how to make money, just as states such as Colorado are rediscovering today. It says cannabis was first documented in Kemet around 2000 BC to treat eye sores and cataracts. Exactly what people say they have rediscovered a treatment for it is these days. Cataracts, I know some people personally who are using cannabis as a treatment for cataracts. And it says Egyptian women use cannabis as a medication to relieve sorrow and bad humor. Okay, I guess that is still being used today. And it says cannabis is mentioned as a medication in the following ancient Egyptian medical texts. And it goes into all the different texts it's mentioned in. And it goes over the Ebers Papyrus here and the different treatments, including cannabis seeds crushed up with honey to treat the effects of gonorrhea. And once again, I'm going to leave this link below. And here is a jar that was found with containing the remnants of hash in it. And here is the ancient Egyptian physician Sefkhet-Abwy from 2650 BC. And he is sitting at what looks like a desk. And here is hieroglyphs above his desk. And I made a video before. One of those hieroglyphs is referring to cannabis or divine smoke. And it says, cannabis pollen was found on the mummy of Ramses II. And once again, here is Seshat. But I just think this is all fascinating. This is ancient Egyptian medicine, including cannabis. This is the Ebers Papyrus, probably the oldest medical text on record that we have. And I've just gone over some of it. I don't have time to make a long video here, but hopefully this interested people who are interested in what the earth naturally provides for us and what the ancient Egyptians thought about it and how they used it. Something that today's present money-grubbing, greedy society who really wants to make people numb and dumb them down and give them synthetic drugs instead of using what the earth naturally provides, natural medicines that the ancients were in tune with, including medicines that affect the consciousness of people for the better. But I just thought I would talk about this. Hope you thought this was interesting. You have a nice day.